this is the initial sort of flow of the show. Let me see if I remember how to do this. My name is Christian Vernon. I am the co-owner of Doors of Divergence, a brand new company making immersive, actor-driven escape rooms. Right. Okay, so it's right here, door, and then this puzzle right here is where they make a selection, so that is a point of divergence. That's also a point of divergence. That's a point of divergence. That's a door. That's a door.
I'm Zach McCrell. I'm co-owner of Doors of Divergence with Christian. Sort of help out a lot with how to develop an experience to become truly immersive.
This is a big point of divergence right there. And that there's a puzzle, so it gets pink. Doors here, this is all doors. That's a point of divergence, and that's a point of... no, it's not a point of divergence, that's a puzzle. I was getting so good at knowing how to do this. Zach, you gotta tell me when I'm getting this wrong.
The story in most escape rooms is something has happened, figure it out.
The typical escape room I would define as a game. It's a live-action version of games that people used to play on Flash. You know, click here, find a key, open this lock. Okay, great. Now I got to connect these wires or what have you. It's pretty much a series of mini games into one giant hour-long game. What Doors of Divergence is doing differently is we want to tell active stories that are happening as the players progress through the thing.
So something is happening, you are a part of it, your choices matter in that story.
You solve the puzzle, you turn something on, that changed something. Now an actor can rush in and explain what's going on and how circumstances have changed. Players are the actual main protagonists of this story.
You, as a member of the audience, have significant agency. That's going to be so much more engaging.
And working and functional. Sort of the rest of the plot kind of revolves around the rift in time and space. And people are going to like it. It's I think it's fun, it's interesting. I think people are really going to like it. So
the linchpin of Doors of Divergence is the single fixed point that you can't use as a doorway.
Yeah, it's not a door at all.
it is fixed in its location, yes, but the decisions that the players make are all revolving around it.
So they don't go through it.
No, they don't go through it. I may have gone too far in a couple of places. I may have gone too far. I may have gone too far. I may have gone too far in a couple of places. I may have gone too far in a few places.
So there is a lot of very important things that we can say and a lot of very important things that we do say, but first and foremost is, did you have a good time? It's gotta be a good time. It doesn't matter if you laughed or you cried or you enjoyed yourself. We have to trick you into enjoying yourself.
Yeah, I think the core of it is making it fun because we want this product to last. We want it to be open for years and years, and we want people to come back and play and play and play. And this is a thesis statement as to whether or not you can do escape rooms this way.
So, I have been spending the last 2 days putting together a model, primarily of the Order. Sanatorium, there's still some choices and stuff that need to be made. Obviously the obelisk is here. We've got those floating shelves we've recently set up that look really good. Those are going to go in that corner. Star map is over here. Rift is going to be here. We're having discussions today about these doors. These two doors are going to be hidden doors. This one is going to be a curiosity cabinet. This one is going to be like a closet. But it needs to be able to be sealable from the obelisk room side.
Curiosity cabinet is a Murphy door, right?
Yeah,
You're talking about?
sort of, but no.
It might need to be less than that. I have a theory that we can just get away with a standard door and build some holes into it.
I think Zach and I both kind of like to work in the moment. You can draw the stuff up on a paper as much as you want, but like you don't get the final grip on it until you start creating the thing in 3 dimensions.
This is the future space of our 3 escape room production, known as the Book of 3 Keys. This is currently our assembly area, and eventually all of this will turn into the actual show space for it. This will be our main entrance into the Doors of Divergence world. All of this will have walls, and then the 3 escape rooms will be here and here and over there. There'll be floor units like this, and then all like these style wall units you see back here will all be sort of installed in a lattice work of frames. And with any luck, once all of that is done, we should have a brand new, fully realized space that people will walk into and have no idea this was ever a giant, open, cavernous warehouse.
All I need to turn wood into metal is just 2 colors, 2 brushes, and some water. So, like with the map of Egypt over here, there's that faux brass placard at the bottom of it. There's like some touch-up problems. It looks very generic. It's metallic, it looks like metal, but it doesn't. You can look at this and say, that's a piece of wood that's been painted with the metallic paint. So what I'll do with the final pass is go in with a few select washes of generally brown paint, and add in patina. So you can see I put paint strategically so I can push it around. So it does take a little bit of thought. It's not a really precision necessarily technique, but a lot of it is just getting a good feel for where things should be and where you want to push the range. Like this guy. So it's a little dusty, but. So this is wood. You look at the back. I guess you could call me the in-house alchemist, turning wood into brass.
My name is Franny Sebastiano. Sorry, I've never done this before. So these are for this puzzle box, and right now I'm just making different wood grains so that people understand that these go with that box. I'm making them look dirty and grimy, like there's water damage on them. But this is actually like my favorite thing to do, or even make metal look like metal. It's just kind of funny to me. And I like to use a smaller brush because it actually helps to get this wood grain texture. So this is probably going to take a little bit. Just letting you know.
So that is a glue gun specifically designed for making fake webs. They're used a lot in the haunted house industry, which both Christian and I have spent some time in, and they are far and away the best glue guns money can buy. They have to heat up the glue to a higher temperature faster because you have to be able to throw the glue, you have to be able to put pressurized air in there.
I also couldn't do what I'm doing now with that.
It's just
gun.
very fluid.
Yeah, it's very fluid.
So for a lot of practical applications, it's a little less useful, but for a lot of the stuff we're doing, grippy, spider webbing, even stuff like the welds, it's just so much better. We could do like a
For Victor. Yeah. I was going to ask if you wanted to put something on the cover like for Victor.
Yeah, as opposed to doing it in the inside.
Well,
We can even
especially
punch
if it's
like my first alchemy lesson, and then for Victor, and just like
cute,
a
yeah.
little toy that we made.
We're working on this book puzzle. It's something that Kavanaugh, who's like our central villain, made for his son as like a learning tool about the different stages of alchemy. So it's all hand done. So I spent a lot of time making sure that the lettering doesn't look perfect or printed. It looks like something that he did himself. Yesterday we came into some really nice leather scraps. So I've gone and laid out these stitched together leather covers that we're going to add, kind of Necronomicon style, but not creepy at all, because it's for a kid. It takes a lot of thinking about how would something get to look old, well-worn? What goes into that? How many people run into it? What kind of cuts or gouges are going to be in it? It's all like a process of what's going to make it look like the real thing, but doing it in the painterly, the scenic way.
Just watch your hand. This will likely surprise no one in the plumbing profession, but it is the first day I've ever soldered copper pipe. Funny, I've been soldering electronics for years. It strikes me this is just very similar, just a bigger scale, a lot more heat. Finally, something the players can't break. This is a giant copper pipe maze. You know the game Operation, right? It's essentially there's going to be a wand of copper that's attached around this thing, and they'll have to get it all the way through the pipe, navigating it and all the other pipes around it without it touching any of the copper pipes to get to the end, and then they solve the puzzle. It's going to be tricky, but that wand will get around that thing. We're going to get clever with it. There's a second mirrored part, and so two people have to do it at the same time. And if player one gets to the end of their track, player two has 5 seconds to get to the end of their track, or everyone's got to go back again. So they got to do it in sequence at the same time. We took the schematics from a different puzzle that was much smaller scale. I think it's about yay big, and we went, all right, what if that, but big, and two at the same time? But the only way to know whether or not it's scaled up was to scale it up. This may be infuriatingly frustrating for the players. I don't know yet. We haven't beta tested it, so we'll find out. This is the litmus test. I'm going to check the connectivity right now. Okay, so ground here. Ha ha ha. Yeah. All right, we're going to work. It's going to work. It's going to work. Ha. Oh, that is a huge weight off the shoulders.
Most of this wood is covered with things.
Right.
And will be patinaed around the pipes. I'm gonna make these a little darker.
That's fine.
Yeah. Although as is, they remind me of like cedar.
Yeah.
That's
My
a
only
safer bet.
concern with this right now is that they will go, ooh, here's a thing. and try
No,
to pick
don't
at
do
it.
that. They're going to be touching this stuff. They're going to be up close and personal with it and handling it. It's not quite like theater where you have 30 feet between what's being painted and the audience, and there might be dancers between the audience and the thing. So a lot more thought goes into making sure nothing chips or cracks or like gives away the trick of the faux finish. Sure, you can like, if you really get up and close and personal with something and inspect it, you could say, oh yeah, I can tell this is painted, but who's really going to do that in an escape room?
Well, let's just say if they have to worry about that level of immersion, Christian and I are not doing our job.
If they're distracted about that.
I think they're at the wrong event.
I would like it known that Zach and I were here last night until 9 in the evening playing with dolls.
2.5, 3 hours.
Two grown-ass men playing with dolls for 3 hours. Things I never thought would happen. Before we do the logistics, what is functionally happening? Okay, but then I come in and I put a doll into the space in front of this mirror. Nothing happens. Okay. I take it and put it into one of the other ones. And then something happens. But why that and not that? Oh, I must have gotten it right. You didn't get it right. You just happened to put one of the hot spots in the box.
I think I might have a compliment here, all right? We're coming in. Ended up designing this after doing a lot of research into doll houses, which was a weird couple of days at work, and decided just because of all the stuff we want these to do, it would make more sense for us to build our own dollhouse.
Throwing the gap to uplight the wall. It's gonna be a pain in the ass. Doable, but a pain in my butt. How am I gonna do that?
I kept designing and redesigning the dollhouse, and it just kept looking like a box. Then I ended up going to Kaylee, like, look, here's a box. Here's what we needed to do. And Kaylee kind of went nuts and made all the cool stuff you see here in front of you.
Is that the layout still there? Have we documented this layout?
No, I don't think we have.
Okay.
All of this stuff is genuine dollhouse furniture from a doll collector, I want to say, in Connecticut. We're trying to strike a balance here between what is like this cool, intricate, tiny, detailed piece and what can stand being touched a couple hundred times a day. We should have just made an escape room that's just a dollhouse.
Escape the dollhouse.
Escape the dollhouse. We're kind of trying to go for a bit of a creepy air, and basically we don't need to do any touch-ups to this. Pretty sure he's a vampire.
Realign, and that thing has haunted memories for me of like late night going to 3 in the morning, just like putting shit together by myself with that fucking soundtrack driving me nuts. No. Okay. I want to get a sense of what's getting made this week, where we're at with everything. So if we could gather. I need to finalize layout on each space, so make sure nothing else is moving, because things have been moving as we go through.
On that, when you finish laying out where all of those are, we should sit down and figure out where we want to add in all of the like nosing to suggest wood paneling.
I'm gonna do some designs today if I have time to actually do the walls for the smoking room.
I know Dollhouse, we need to order more contact paper, because
Yeah, that's already ordered. It's on the way. It's gonna take a while. It's coming.
whenever it comes in from England,
Yep.
so about 3 weeks for it to get through customs.
Yeah.
So that's that. Shingles coming in too.
Shingles are on the way.
Great.
They're gonna be here significantly faster.
Okay, great. Command console. I am uploading code right now, and then that should be good for testing. I can get that done today. Actually, we got to talk about Rift. Actually, that might be it. That actually might need to be an all hands discussion, because it's going to involve tech. It's going to involve internal framework. It's going to install the paint job. It's going to involve lighting. Like, this is the big optical illusion that we got to figure out how to do. We're going to build a hole in space and time. So you know, yeah. The audience that come in, first thing they're going to see is this giant 10-foot obelisk just blocking their path. They walk in, and then they're going to come around the obelisk. It's already drawn their attention, and there's going to be a rift in space and time behind it. And we're hoping they're going to be like, oh shit. Like, the idea is they get a 1-2 punch.
This rift is kind of central to everything we're doing. It is the illustration of the fact that something has gone wrong with space and time in this universe. And you're going to have to do something about it.
Okay, so we need to build a rift in time and space. And I keep saying that, thinking it'll just manifest itself, and it's not gonna. So this is gonna be a showpiece. It's gotta look good. And this is sort of becoming the reason why the players can go in and replay, and it's because time and possibilities are leaking out of this room. How time travel
Depending
works.
on the choices you make, you could be in Groundhog Day, you could be in Back to the Future, you could be in any of the Avengers movies.
Yeah.
It just depends on the choices you make, what kind of time travel or dimensional travel you end up with.
And in order to get this effect of like we're looking into a void, and it sort of shifts, I think we're gonna need some sort of psych assembly. Which means that built into this and possibly extending past the bounds of it, we're gonna need sort of a rounded.
Your first customer is going to be 6'6" with a flashlight. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that'll happen. I mean, whatever. If it is, here's the thing.
once again, it's an escape room. If somebody goes in there and goes, you know what? I see the seam. This isn't a real rift in space and time. Good, you caught us, Chief.
It's a little ambitious. We're gonna try and sell them on the idea that like they are looking into the void, and there's just a lot that hasn't. Yeah, we're gonna see. This is one of those things where I'm like, I feel like it's gonna go very well, but we just don't know. It's
Now
the thing
all
that's
we got to
like
do
least.
is rebuild the Milky Way, rip a hole in space and time, and meet payroll.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just not feeling it. It's good. It's just not the character.
Christian and I have been designing puzzles, we've been building props and installs, and now Christian and I have to circle back around to, oh yeah, no, we're creating theater here. We put out into the ether a couple of casting notifications for voice actors. We are casting for our narrator and our, I think I can say demoness character.
We have had a number of really interesting submissions, especially for Demoness.
You know, put an ad for a demoness on the internet and see how many people show up. They'll show up. People want to play a demon.
Our frontrunner right now is a woman by the name of Morgan Toll, who has this animalistic, creepy nails on a chalkboard kind of voice I'm really digging.
When you're writing stuff, you always have that in your head. You have like, this is the voice of whoever, and this is how I hear them in my head. That's why it's sometimes good to have like somebody else do the casting, but we're not at the point in careers right now where we can afford that.
Morgan has a very distinct voice.
Very distinct voice. It's very, very good. It's very unique. You're not going to get it from anybody else. What's the voice you hear when you envision the final scene? What's that voice sound like?
The time to choose is upon you. Listen closely. Touch the scarab to the one you call Proctor, and I will be released.
I know we've been oscillating back and forth on this. Gut check. You have to hire somebody right now, gun to your head.
I think it's Morgan.
I'm inclined to agree. Yay! We have voiceover people. Theoretically, they have to say yes.
The faster we can get this knocked out, the faster we can go and deal with stuff we're really worried about.
This is the start right here of the 12-foot tall obelisk.
This whole thing was inspired by Cleopatra's Needle in Central Park, although I discovered that literally every third obelisk is named Cleopatra's Needle. So it's going to be the single tallest piece in the entire event. You're going to walk into the room and it's going to command your attention, and that's what we need.
I mean, the obelisk is like the big. There are 7 puzzles included in this thing, and there's one microcontroller that's got to track all of them. But building shouldn't be that difficult. It's just build a 10-foot tall 3-sided obelisk, please. How long could it possibly take?
I'm missing one clear acrylic pipe, and I could finish 2 props if I had one clear acrylic pipe. It was supposed to be delivered yesterday at 7 p.m. It was not, so I went and I sat and waited for the mail yesterday. The mail was delivered, but not the pipe.
God damn.
Anyway, I'm having a day.
Okay. I had a day yesterday. Everybody gets a day this week. We just had a day.
Past that, I mean... some sort of countersign to possibly. Hold on. No. This doesn't matter for this. This is for the braided cord. We're using the braided cord here.
Oh yeah, no, it's going right
No,
on
it's
the
right here.
Yeah,
Yeah, there we go.
it's plenty. Yeah.
Yeah. We notch that in, stick it in. Yeah. There we go.
Apparently, at 7:15 last night, they attempted to deliver the acrylic tube, and there was no one here.
Wait a minute.
Yes, we were here.
We were here at
We were here at 7:15.
We were here until 9 in the evening playing with dolls.
Yeah. Which is weird because we're still getting our regular mail.
Yeah.
I might end up having to take a walk to the post office because attempting to call them on the phone, I was informed that only after I put in the 15-digit tracking number that the automated system could not tell me anything about a package.
Of course. Yeah. Because why would it? Yeah.
Such is life.
Yeah.
Put conduit in thing.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, see, it moves right in. Look at that. I can just push that in with my knee. Yeah, it's not strong enough.
I really thought it was going to be strong enough. Everything that we do, we're going to stress test to make sure that players cannot break it. All right, if I come in here, I might very well have the impulse of going, oh, well, this is the one pipe that's this far out of the board. Maybe we need to pull this whole thing out to use it. And if I can pull on it and it comes out of the board, which it's doing right now, then it's going to be a no-go. It's got to be rock solid. So I need a better solution for keeping this on the board, and I can't have any hardware on this side. We have a little engineering problem. So we drill a hole in the pipe, and we put a bolt through it. Yeah, we can do a bolt lock. I mean, I feel like it's also slathering it with epoxy might do the trick. Okay, so we rough it up.
But you're right. Like, fail safe, no matter what. Drilling a hole in here with just a bolt through it will just stop it from moving anywhere.
Epoxy and bolt. Gotcha. That's fun.
God damn. Okay. I've been soldering straight for like the last couple of days.
These things are like $10 for a pack of 12. They're super cheap. If I were to just save myself time by buying like pre-programmed, pre-wired RFID readers, like those tend to be about $30 for a single reader. So it's not that difficult to solder and wire together and do the programming. It's a little more time consuming, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper, and it's more enjoyable. Probably not like union approved or anything. God damn it. Fuck. I've never been madder at my hair than I am today.
Keep running into issues where all of a sudden I start smelling burning hair, and I realize that God damn it, my hair keeps getting into the soldering iron. And on days like today, when I have had my hair back for so long that it is just pulling on my scalp and I can't stand to have it pulled back anymore, it hurts a little bit. It's a little bit annoying. You can see that. It is just burned onto the fucking soldering iron. So I have a tradition with my hair whenever I'm working on a show. I tend to, once production starts, not have a haircut throughout the entire process, and sort of ceremoniously, once the show opens, just go and get a drastic haircut, get it all chopped off. And every time that I've gotten a haircut before I finish a production, things have kind of gone off the rails almost immediately afterwards. So I don't mess with fate anymore. Son of a bitch. Ah! However, if I set my hair on fire one more goddamn time, fate can be damned.
We have a solid little flood going on.
There's a lot of water on the roof.
Yeah, it's like all the roof water.
It all just collects. Torrential downpours from Tropical Storm Elsa, or the fallout thereof, overflowed the roof, and then it all came down through that leak collection system that we have, and then filled the wheelbarrow full of water designed to collect all of it, and everything was overflowing. You know, the whole clown act of a tipping wheelbarrow and water leaking everywhere, and yeah, basically Three Stooges material, but in a shop, which is the last place you want a Three Stooges routine.
Well, and the slanted floors all kind of go down to a point right there, so there's just a big puddle.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Sawdust in it. Yeah, it's.
The sink is, or the sink.
I hope it at least.
I mean, it's supposed to rain literally all week next week, so we have to figure this out.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really should not be your problem.
I know. I don't like being like.
No, you have to kick that to us.
Yep.
It's
a facilities thing.
It needs to be solved. Like we keep being like, since when do they make rain? And now we have to.
Rain is a thing. Water from the sky? What?
Okay. All right.
I have an agenda in my head. I can write it down if you want, but I guess we should discuss the elephant in the room first.
No.
We're in a pandemic, and maybe I'm overthinking it, but do you guys still want to do the show in October, November?
Do we want to? Yes. Is it practical? No.
Do we need QA passes on puzzles? Sure.
Yeah.
Is that something we can do with invite only? Yes, it is. So it really becomes, okay, what is the benefits of doing this software right now, given the climate of the outside world?
You only really get one shot at opening, and we don't want the story of the opening to be, hey, look at those guys who gave a bunch of people COVID.
So we're ditching the early launch. We're doing grand opening.
Yeah.
Sixes for Snake Eyes. Let's go. I like that. Okay.
All right.
Here's a pencil for you.
Oh, cool.
Hey.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Rejection is part of the game. It's fine.
It's true.
Things have to change. Whatever. Get over it.
What is the phrase? Murder the children?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kill your babies. Actually, don't kill your babies. You cryogenically freeze your baby. That image we're at right now.
Okay. Well, that's not going to come back to haunt us.
No, that's not at all.